Good evening. If everyone could have a seat, please. I would like to call this meeting to order. Will you all please rise and join us for the Pledge of Allegiance? I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States. Would the clerk please call the roll?
Mayor Reed?
Here.
Vice Mayor Middleton? Councilmember Woods?
Still here.
Councilmember Tinsley?
2 more
Here.
meetings.
Councilmember Primarosa?
Here.
No. Thank you. Do we have any additions, deletions, or modifications to our agenda this evening?
No, ma'am.
Thank you, ma'am. All right, tonight we are so excited to have the Cognizant Classic Community presentation. If we could have our Leisure Services Administrator, Charlotte Brzezinski, please present. Good evening, ma'am.
Good evening, everyone. Happy Thursday. Let me cue this up. Okay, good evening. This is a typical thing that we do every year to talk about an exciting event. Cognizant Classic is only a few weeks away. And last month, through Resolution 1, 2025, you actually approved the agreement with the Classic that provides the security services to keep our public and our community safe during the event. But tonight, what we want to do is bring up Todd Fleming, who's the Vice President and Executive Director of the tournament, and he's going to share with you a little bit about the impact of the community and some of the new things that are going to happen with the tournament. So, Todd?
Thank you. Thank you to everybody. It's a good pleasure to be here. So my first time doing this, so I would have taken the job about 11 months ago. So she told me I'm on a clock, so I'll try to stay to the clock. But first and foremost, thank you as the host city. It means a lot to be able to get the resolution passed and obviously for what you provide for the tournament. So it means a lot for Charlotte and Daniel and your entire team, the work that we put in over the last 11 months to get to this point. So let's talk a little bit about what we did in 2024. The thing that we stand for the most for the tournament, again, we put on world-class golf. We have a world-class kind of operation and hospitality kind of experiences that we put forth. All of that is great, but what we really stand for and what is our North Star on the go forward is always how are we being a steward inside of the community? What are we doing to make sure Palm Beach Gardens gets the recognition that it needs? What are we doing from a community impact standpoint? And then certainly from a charitable dollars standpoint, how are we using the proceeds from the tournament to give back to our local marketplace? So on the board that you'll see here is just kind of a little bit of a recap of the economic and charitable impact from 2024. So there was over 11,000 room nights that were attributed county-wide, most of that happening on the north side of the county, towards the tournament. That earned in the Palm Beaches, which is our presenting partnership, which is Discover Palm Beaches, the Tourism Board, as well as the Sports Commission, comes together for a presenting partnership which makes the tournament intrinsically ours because the name of where we live is in our tournament title. There's over $70 million of earned media value that's been derived through that partnership, and intrinsically that falls down, importantly, to Palm Beach Gardens every time that we mention it as the host city. But what do we do in the community is the most important thing. So in 2024, there were $6.8 million in total community and charitable impact dollars that were put forth back into the community that benefited over 50 organizations in our community. So the amount of funds, the amount of commitment that we have towards those types of efforts is going to be our North Star on the go forward. I'm happy to report that we are well on our way to 6 to 7 million already for 2025, and we will look to obviously expand upon the 50 organizations that benefited from this in 2024. So it will be the thing that we stand for the most on the go forward. So each and every year that you see me come up here, if I'm fortunate to do that and be invited each and every year, you'll see me always lead off with the impact that we are making. But we are entering a new era for what does it mean to go to this golf event and a live event here in Palm Beach Gardens. So the new era, what I wanted us to, because when I moved in from Texas, and my first residence was here in Palm Beach Gardens over in Midtown. And so I had a lot of time on my hands because my family and my wife were still in Texas. So I took a step back and I said, what do I want us to be about on the go forward? The Global Showcase is something that I think that is aspirational, but I believe that we can get there. People want to be in Palm Beach Gardens. People want to be in Palm Beach County. We obviously have a lot of tourism and attraction from a global standpoint. We can set what does it mean to go to a live outdoor event through the changes that we're making in this new era of golf. Congregate and celebrate. I've shared this with Charlotte and Daniel and Mayor Reed a lot. You guys know how to throw a good party, right? And so we can't mess that up at the tournament. But congregate and celebrate, to me, comes in forms of partnerships like we have here with your city. I don't want us to be just about showing up the couple weeks before the tournament or the month before the tournament, and how do we start to rally around each other and amplify the things that we do together. I look at a partnership as things that we're doing 12 months out of the year. So to put this in golf terms, there's 4 rounds of golf that we have. It lines up intrinsically nicely with the 4 quarters of our calendar year. So what are the things that we're doing together on the go forward? What are we doing together in October? What are we doing together in May? So congregate and celebrate. The tournament is an aspect of that, but how do we take this partnership and amplify it throughout the calendar year? And then again, I've hit upon it, and you'll hear me do it over and over and over again. We can be a global showcase. It doesn't matter, right? We exist because of the support of our county and the north side of the county and this city. So the community focus is the things that we're going to be fixated on. I spend a lot of time with our title partner, Cognizant, on how are they going to interact and start to further broaden their influence in the marketplace. Children's healthcare, obviously Children's Healthcare Charity is our foundation, but children's healthcare in general is what we stand for. Cognizant is big in their foundation space for that, but we're going to push forward into additional types of avenues, which is in STEM programs and initiatives that we can bring to the county, as well as diversity and inclusion that is very, very important to Cognizant and the PGA Tour. So what does that mean? When I attended the tournament in 2024, I wanted to change a few things. I did not believe that we looked and represented Palm Beach Gardens. We did not represent our county appropriately through the colors and what we put forth. So I went through a rebrand of the entire tournament experience, and you'll start to see some of that show up in regards to the colors that you see on course from our structures. We're going to be building things differently. We issued 3 RFPs at one time. Very, very aggressive on our end. I do not recommend to do that again. But we were able to onboard a new exterior builder, a new interior designer, as well as a new food and beverage company. And they're now all going to show up in these gables and the structures, and our tinting structures are all going to have, each 6 holes going to have a different color and a different pattern to them. So it's just something fresh and new for us to experience, but also for the players to experience. So this is just some examples of how you'll see that come to life on tournament week. So it's not just the things outside the ropes, it's always the stuff inside the ropes too. So the players are going to get this treatment, and that hopefully from a word of mouth standpoint continues to have us as one of the preeminent stops on the PGA Tour. You probably heard me mention earlier today some new hospitality offers, but I'll stop and give a quick update on the player field. We have 14 of the top 50 players worldwide that are in our tournament. That is, we're over-indexing where we were at this point last year. We had 9 of the top 50. We have 10 of the top 30 in the FedEx Cup standings, current rankings, and the number 1 player in the FedEx Cup is in our field. So we announced today Sepp Straka, Nick Taylor, that are both 2025 winners. Sepp Straka has won our tournament before. We also introduced Minwoo Lee, as well as Shane Lowry, and we're going to continue to start announcing players at least once or twice a week here on out as we lead up to the tournament time. Our locals are in it. Luke Donald's in it. Ricky's in it. Camilo's in it. So we've got a great contingency of local players that are here as well. And then in 2025, you'll see some of the new hospitality structures that come to life. So you'll notice it's strategic. The build, when you come out on tournament time, whether that's for a day or whether that's for the entire week, it's going to be much tighter, going to be much cleaner, and much lower to the ground. We're going to use the natural contours and elevations of our course to our advantage to build more what I would call secure structures that are not so high in the air and can provide some difficulty in weather time. So this is the layout on 18. You'll see some new experiences that are here. There's a lot of suites and hospitality, but that open space that you'll see left of the structures that's going to be open, that's actually going to be the Gardens, FPL Fan Village. So a lot of the food activation, we were meeting before this of how do we bring some kind of cool and creative, iconic elements of the city into that activation space. But this is going to be something that the major thoroughfare and probably 95% of the people that are on property are going to walk by this each and every day of the tournament. And then as you get out to 17, everybody, I don't need to rehash what 17 means to everybody here at the Bear Trap, but you'll see that this looks different. The stadium feel is gone. We didn't have the demand for a completely enclosed stadium, nor did it fit my vision for the tournament of making sure that we allowed our fans that are on grounds tickets access to viewing our most important hole, arguably the hole that can determine the tournament. So you'll see these structures are up, the colors are going up. This will provide some great opportunities for the totality of our fans that visit our grounds, from a hospitality ticket all the way down to the mom and dad that are bringing their kids on a daily basis. They're going to have access to viewing our most important hole. So that ends my time. I will stop and certainly open it to any questions if you have any.
Thanks, Todd. Do you guys have any questions? Go ahead. Bert?
Do you still have a veterans area on 17? You're still doing that?
We moved it to 10. One of the,
Okay.
yeah, we do, the Patriots Outpost has moved over to the 10th green, so just a 30 yards away from where it was on 17. Why I wanted to do that is they were only getting 17 for their viewpoint. Where we have them positioned now on 10, they have 10, they have the 9 tee box, they have the 3rd hole, they have the 4th tee box, and they have the 11th tee box that are all now right in front of them. So it's in a really prime location on what I call our ring road. It's easier to get to, and there's also an ADA accessible stop there. So for our veterans that show up that need that type of transportation, it drops them off right in front of their structure.
Great, very well done. Thank you. Appreciate it.
Vice Mayor? Okay, great.
All right.
Anyone else? No?
Thank you for the time. Thanks a
Thanks
lot.
for
Thank you
coming
for the
tonight.
partnership. See you guys in 17 days.
17. Every time we run into each other, there's been a countdown for a while. It's wonderful. We're looking forward to coming out and supporting. Thank you.
Thank you. Appreciate it.
All right, so we are going to move on to comments from the public. I do have one comment card for an item not on the agenda tonight. So if we could have Patrice Schroeder from who does community relations for 211, please come to the microphone.
Hello, everybody. Again, Patrice Schroeder with 211 Helpline. I just wanted to thank you, Mayor Reed, and...
All right, I have to interrupt. You have to say your name, your address.
Oh, I'm at 1701 North Flagler Drive,
Thank you.
but I'm doing this on behalf of the agency. Every year, you guys have been sponsoring our proclamation. This is 211 Awareness Month, and I just want to thank you again for your continued support. People just don't know that we're here for them 24/7, particularly in these challenging times. We average about 350 calls per day, with about 12 on average that are a suicide crisis. But of course, this is for our 5-county area, but Palm Beach County makes the lion's share of calls. So we're here. People are struggling. We know housing is a big issue, but perhaps if we can get them some food resources, free clinics, and other items that can help alleviate some of that pressure. We also, upon occasion, there is funding for utility assistance, et cetera. But our whole goal is just to really help the community know that we're here if they're in an emotional overwhelmed, if they're in a suicidal crisis. They may be a caregiver that's isolated in need of services. Perhaps there's an elder in the household that has Alzheimer's, or a child in the household that has autism. So we're here with our special needs helpline. We're here with our elder crisis outreach. And we do have a My Florida Veterans program to help support veterans and their families. It's a support line, and our newest kid on the block is the first responder support line. So a first responder, an EMT, law enforcement, firefighters, corrections officer, 911 dispatchers, the people that are living trauma every day and then dealing with their own financial situation, their own relationships. We can help them get the specialized counseling and also help their families as well. So I just wanted to, again, thank you, and let people know anytime of day or night they can dial 211.
Thank you so much for coming and for all you all do.
Yes.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you for everything that you do as well.
And come back every year, remind everybody. And you do a great job with the League of Cities as well. We appreciate that. Thank you. All right, so we'll move along to our city manager report. Ron, do you have a report this evening?
Thank you, Mayor, Council. I do have several items to bring to your attention. I'd like to ask Charlotte Przenski to come up and give us a little news about Mardi Gras coming up real soon.
So not only do we have the Cognizant Classic about 3 weeks away next week, on the 15th and 16th, Mardi Gras will be held. It's its 40th anniversary this year. We're so proud again to host them at Gardens North County District Park. 10 a.m. to 5 o'clock every day. They're going to have this year new fashion shows in addition, music, food, and then about 400 plus artist booths. So it'll be a significant day. I think the nicest thing to say is parking this year is going to be plentiful on site. We've opened the new parking lot on the very west side. So if people coming in off Central Boulevard or coming off PGA up Shady Lakes, they'll be parking on both sides, so as they feed in. That is paid parking. If people wish, though, we still are transporting people from right behind Baskin Palmer, the Fairway Office Complex, and that will be free parking, and there'll be a shuttle that'll be rotating. So we're looking forward to hosting this event again. It's our 4th year. So hope to see you all there.
Oh, we'll be there, right?
Thank you. Next, as you know, January 25, we had our Public Safety Day. We had over 1,500 people in attendance, and we would like to give you a little show synopsis of Public Safety Day. Drum roll.
Hey, Team Gardens! A huge thank you to everyone who came out to this year's Public Safety Day. It's always amazing to see so many of you learning about what we do while having a blast with your families.
Absolutely. We love this event because it gives us the chance to connect with you, answer your questions, and share some important safety tips. Your support truly means the world to us.
For those who joined us, we hope you enjoyed all the action. From the pop-up traffic garden where kids learned about traffic rules and safety, to our SWAT and fire obstacle courses, hands-only CPR training, K9 demos, and so much more. It was a day packed with fun.
A big shout out to the Palm Beach Gardens Police and Fire Foundation for sponsoring this free, family-friendly event every year. We look forward to more chances to connect with you and celebrate our amazing community.
Thanks again. We'll see you next time.
So I just wanted to thank all those people involved in putting this together. It was obviously a very large team event, and we're excited to do this every year. Also at the same site over there, we also had La Grande Dame Tennis Tournament from January 27 through Saturday, February 1st. I got a chance to go over there and take a look at what was going on. They had over 80 participants ranging in age 30 to 80. 16 states and 3 countries were represented. Total match played was 121. Go ahead. So here's a little clip.
It's probably about 38 years ago that 2 women in Winter Park, Florida decided they wanted to start some senior women's tournaments. So it started and they called it Les Grandes Dames. The players love it. It's primarily to support senior women's tennis. It's networking, it's tournament play, it's socializing, and it also gets you points to be on the U.S. team that go to any part of the world to play the ITF World Championships.
Well, I've been coming to this tournament now since my daughter was 8 and she just turned 30. I took up tennis late in life, and what keeps me coming back are the friends, the amazing tennis, and it's a great area, and the people that run the tournament, all the people here at Palm Beach Gardens Tennis Center, just so welcoming, and we have a great time.
We're always happy to host these kinds of events, and we have more coming, so stand by. They're kind of fun to watch. I felt kind of inadequate watching these ladies play tennis. Wow, they're great. They really are. At this time, I'd like to bring up our team of CIP projects. As I've told you, over the years, occasionally I like to bring in and give you an update as far as how the CIP projects are going. We have several on the ground, but we have like 4 or 5 to talk to you about and let you know how we're doing.
Good evening, Council. Todd Engel, City Engineer. I'm here with the project managers of 5 projects that we've been working on, and we'd like to give you a little update. First will be Fire Station 6. This was a rendition we showed you about 1.5 years ago, and this is what it looks like today. So we're on our way to getting there. The roof's dried in, the windows and doors are in, all the garage doors are in, the base doors are in, so we're starting on the interior and finishing the exterior. Here's a picture of how the exterior sits now. Actually, it was 3 days ago, so this has all been paved, and we have concrete poured over here. So we're moving rather quickly. This is the whole aerial of the fire station. Fire station is accessed off Coconut Boulevard. They'll rotate in. Public area will be here for parking if they need to come into the fire station. There'll be a secure gate. They'll wrap around, get gas, and then get back into their actual bays. It's important to note that that gas station is a lot bigger than most of our normal gas stations because this is our western community, and we can fuel our PW trucks, we can fuel the building department, and then also have that for emergency management as well. This is the look of the backs. The finishes are going on. Interior to the project, we're starting to finish everything. So we're doing cabinetry, finishing out the bathrooms. Last to be done would be the flooring. We're looking to access this building in April, receive it from the contractor. Fire department will need a couple months to outfit it, and then we open up for business. Next, I'd like to invite Corey up.
Good evening, Council. Corey Wilder, Deputy Community Services Administrator of Operations, here to give you an update on the Burns Road Playground across the street. First, I'll show you a couple renderings that I brought to your attention a few months ago this fall. So this is what the end product will look like. Much improved addition with the shade, highly sought after with our residents. So a couple different shade systems on this playground. And then the focal point is the 2 climbing towers with slides in the middle. A closer rendition of the climbing towers you see here. Over the next 5 to 6 weeks, you'll start to see all the playground equipment being built. And one of the major highlights of this playground is it provides play opportunities for children from 6 months all the way to 12 years, so it covers the entire gamut. So these are the renderings of what the final product's going to look like, and here's some updates of where we are today. So the playground began construction first week of January. The equipment arrived on the 31st. You see it on the top portion of this picture. We worked really hard to get all the elements on site so that it limits the downtime for our residents. And then all the squares you see on there are the footers being poured for the shade infrastructure. And here's a picture of us going vertical. All the shade posts are being installed. I believe they got them all flown this week. By the time we took this picture, I think they still had a couple more to go, but today they're all up and ready to go. And then here's a picture from earlier on in the week, and we've even made progress since then where they built a tunnel across from each of these climbing towers. So playground will continue to be installed over the next 6 weeks. The turf goes in on March 17th, and then our goal is to open in April to complement the construction of the rec center. And next, I'll invite up Angela Brown.
Good evening, Mayor and Council. Angela Brown, Deputy Community Services Administrator. The Burns Road Community Center is in its 16th month of construction, and it's on track for completion in April. The facility will reopen to the public in June for summer camp. For those of you who aren't familiar with the facility, we are renovating approximately 26,500 square feet of existing space and adding roughly 32,000 square feet onto the 1980 portion of the facility. Again, we have some side-by-side photos for you tonight where the project currently is compared to what it will look like when complete. On screen is a current photo of the front of the building as you approach off Burns Road. On the right is a rendering of the facility when complete, along with a newly proposed sculpture for your consideration. I think it's on tonight's agenda. No, next agenda. So this is a little preview of it. In this image on the left, the red outlined areas are undergoing renovation, which include the north and south gyms, the kitchen, and several offices. The re-roof of this area is 90% complete. We're also replacing some mechanical systems that have surpassed their useful life. When the facility reopens, all major components will be new and ready for another 10 to 20 years of service. So site work on the right-hand photograph is starting this week. You'll see we're getting a new expanded parking lot here. Improvements include sidewalks and wayfinding signs to connect the western portion of the campus to the community center. So this is the reception area. As you can see, they're working on the reception desk, completing the millwork, and they're also installing the column wraps on each of the poles. The flooring for this facility is typically installed last because you don't want it damaged by all the construction happening above it. This is the lobby seating area. Again, the left is today, and on the right is what it will look like. Here's the lobby staircase. Again, they're working on the handrails, the lighting, and the millwork on the walls. Here is the palm room. So the palm room is the largest out of the 3 multi-purpose rooms. Right now, the contractor's installing the lighting and the acoustical panels that hang from the ceiling, as you can see here on the right side, in the rendering. And then, of course, flooring is going to start next week. So this is the kids' corner. This is geared towards 1, 2, and 3-year-old programs, as well as the play center. Again, what it looks like now, and what it will look like in April. This is the studio at the far east end of the facility. It's geared toward exercise programs. And Charlotte, if there's anything else you want to add, let me know. So like I said earlier, both gyms are getting refaced. So this is a photo of the north gym. You can see here they're putting on new acoustical treatments. And they are currently painting the ceiling and the walls. And the flooring will start in March. So finally, moving to the next project, we have the EOC renovations and PD expansion project. To orientate you on this floor plan, the police department is on the top of the screen, on the top of the floor plan, and City Hall is on the right side. Hands-On Builders is constructing the PD expansion portion shown in yellow, and we have Mueller Construction that is constructing the areas in blue, red, and green, which is the EOC. So I have Jake McCarty here tonight. He is the Public Works Director who's going to explain to you the renovations portion.
Thank you. Good evening, Council. Jake McCarty, Director of Public Works. I'm here to present to you the renovation portion of this project, as Angela mentioned, which is our dispatch center in blue, the IT area, which is in red, and then the EOC, which you'll see is in green. I'd like to start back at the beginning of this project, which actually started in November for us. What we did was we moved the entire IT department into the EOC. That was no small task. We were able to get them into EOC, which allowed us to fully renovate the IT area, which took us roughly a month. Once the IT was finished, we were moving them back in. We went to dispatch, and I'd like to highlight Eric and his team. Moving a dispatch center is no small task. It's extremely difficult, a lot of very small details that have to get checked off, and we were able to do that seamlessly, not causing any interruption to their operation at all, which I think is a huge success to our team, Eric's team. I know PD, Judy, Kevin O'Connor all played a huge part in that, so I'd like to thank them for that. So that's where we're currently at in the project, is we are renovating the EOC portion, which is in blue. Once that is complete, we will be able to move the dispatchers to their new home, and then we'll finish the renovations in the EOC, which will finish us up. This is the IT area, which is completed already. What you'll see there is just some pictures of an example of what the finished product will look like in the other areas. Our goal is to make it one cohesive campus with the new police building as well as the other 3 sections. Here we've got a good before picture. This is what dispatch was on the left there. We actually removed this wall. That's where we're expanding into to allow 6 new dispatch stations. And then on the right there, you'll see a rendering of what the end product will look like. Again, these are just more current pictures of where we're at in the process. I'll kind of walk you through left to right. That's the new hallway that will lead into dispatch. We're actually pushing the door back quite a bit to allow more room for the kitchen, which we'll get to later. That middle picture is where the new stations are expanding into. So that will be the new stations looking out into the old stations. And then the far right picture is just the opposite view, the old dispatch center looking into where the new 6 stations will be. Here you have the kitchen. So the top is obviously a rendering. That's what the kitchen will look like when it's completed. The bottom picture here is part of the kitchen. That's actually only half of the kitchen. That back wall where the door is, that wall is actually going to go away, which will allow us to push further back and allow for that full kitchen. And then on the right there, that's the door that we're actually moving to allow for the full kitchen. So this door, which currently leads to dispatch, will come back all the way to right there, and there will be a new door there. Here we have the EOC hallway. The left picture there is kind of just an in-progress picture. It also gives you a good idea of what we started with. And then if you jump over there to the right picture, that's our west hallway. That's a work in progress, but that's a good picture of what we're going to be end with at the end of it. So a lot of moving parts, a lot of logistics behind moving this many people, but again, can't thank the team enough. They've done an excellent job. And with that, I will pass it back to Angela.
So the contractor is currently working on reconnecting all of the underground utilities, including stormwater, fire line, water line, sewer. The project is very challenging in that it's sandwiched, as you can see, between two existing buildings. And it's the underground existing lines were like spaghetti. So it's very challenging. Also, the contractor is required to grout underneath the foundation, which also is a new element for him. So he's had some difficulties in finding contractors, so it has been delayed a bit, but we're hoping that he can make up the time moving along. The roof work on the EOC will begin at the end of this month, which is required in order to reroute the roof drains that actually dumped out into the PD expansion area. So they got to reroute everything. Footers will also begin at the end of this month. Completion is scheduled for October of this year. When this project is all said and done, no further improvements will be needed, hopefully for another 10 to 15 years. So this concludes our presentation for tonight. Thank you.
Thank you all very much. Any questions, comments?
I did have a question on the playground. Did I miss it? But is that going to be opening in April? And then the main community center then in May?
So the playground's slated for April, yes, ma'am. And
So the community center will open for summer camp in June.
In June.
To the public.
Got it.
It'll
So-
be done in April, but we still have to train folks, stock the building, so there's a lot to do before we open.
Of course, absolutely. Wonderful job to all of you. It looks exciting, and I have to tell you that the mayor and I want to be the first people down the slides. We can't wait.
We also want to note that the senior luncheon needs to be in the Palm Room in December. We're all excited for
Yes.
that. So,
Okay, thank you very much. Thank you.
Thank you. Love it.
Thank you for the presentations. I have only one item left. At this time, I would like to introduce our city attorney, Max Lohman, with a very special presentation.
Well, as Ron said, my name is Max Lohman, your city attorney. I don't usually do anything from down here, but here we go. Yeah.
Name and address for the record.
Yeah, 10500 North Military Trail. Last year, from January 11th, I had the privilege, from January 9th to 11th, I had the privilege of accompanying our mayor to Tallahassee as she testified in front of various House and Senate committees. I said, then in January 29th to 31st, we had the pleasure of going back to Tallahassee. But it was for Florida League of Cities. They had hosted the Legislative Action Days in Tallahassee. And once again, I accompanied our mayor, and she testified before the House Commerce Committee and the Senate Transportation Committee in support of House Bill HB 479 and Senate Bill 688, which clarifies state law related to mobility plans and fees. Our mayor's role in local transportation as the chair of the Transportation Planning Agency lent significant credibility to her arguments, which resulted in her testimony in support of the bill as being exceptionally well received. With Mayor Reed's assistance, consolidated bill HB 479 got across the goal line and was signed by Governor DeSantis this past summer. Mayor Reed has demonstrated a consistent appreciation for the importance of engagement and voicing the needs of our community. She understands how important it is to build relationships and, as she likes to say, to collaborate with our state legislators to promote and pass beneficial legislation that enhances home rule so the power remains closest to the people. It is now my distinct honor and privilege to present Mayor Reed, my lobbying partner and one of my bosses, with this commemorative article from the Florida League of Cities, recognizing her hard work, leadership, and support for the city of Palm Beach Gardens and the state of Florida.
And that concludes my report.
Chelsea, you did work hard on that, and everybody knows you did. It's not just us in this room. Everybody knows you worked your tail off on that.
And didn't you
There's
have
a
some fun?
buzz that you fly around with a cape.
Didn't you have some fun with the trips too, with getting planes canceled and hurricanes or tornadoes or something, or?
Yes, and your mayor was a trooper. It was a toss-up who was better because when it got diverted back to Orlando and we were sitting on the plane, I looked at the mayor and I said, we have to decide like right now, excuse me, if we're going to wait to see if this makes it or if we're going to rent a car so we can get a rush. And we just said, rent a car. I think I texted or emailed Patty. I said, I need a car, I need something reliable and fast, and I need it like literally in 20 minutes. And so we got off the plane, I was like, bing, oh, there's a car waiting for us. We walked right down, got in the car, and we thought all was well with the world until we ran into like one of the worst
Tornado yeah.
thunderstorms. We drove right through the middle of what was supposed to be the track of a tornado on the way to Tallahassee. And she deserved a Purple Heart for that because I was driving. So we made it with plenty of time, and she was white knuckling it. She did a good job because it was pretty rough. It was a rough drive, and I don't think I ever dropped below 60 or 65. We just kept trucking on, and so it was tough, but it worked out, and I'm glad that the legislation passed and we were able to get that done.
I guess that's why at the last meeting when they asked us, when we were talking about holding our breath for a minute, she was the only one that was able to do it. She had practice. Congratulations.
Thank you. I'm definitely speechless. Thank you, Max. That was so well said. But I have to say we had such an amazing team that was with us every step of the way, whether making sure we landed well or making sure that we had all the information we need. And Max, you were an extraordinary partner up there. And anyone, if you're driving through a tornado, have a helicopter pilot do that for you. And your knowledge of understanding mobility is what will make this bill matter for every municipality and every county so that we can make sure that everyone is treated fairly. And it really does come down to collaboration. So it was worth every effort. I would do it again in a heartbeat. I was glad to do it. Thank you. And I'm honored, and please never do anything like that again. Because we are a team. So let's move along to consent. Thank you so much. We don't have, do we have anything being pulled this evening from our consent?
Nope.
All right, so if nothing's being pulled, can I get a motion and a second to approve this consent agenda?
Madam Mayor, I'd like to make a motion to approve the consent agenda.
Second?
Thank you. All in favor?
Aye.
Motion passes unanimously. Thank you very much. We'll move along to our public hearing. We don't have one, so we'll move along to our resolution this evening. If the clerk could please read the title.
Resolution 8, 2025, a resolution of the City Council of the City of Palm Beach Gardens, Florida, approving an artistic mural on the western elevation of Building K/L within the downtown Palm Beach Gardens Plan Unit Development, PUD, located east of alternate A1A and bound by Gardens Parkway to the north and Kyoto Gardens Drive to the south, as more particularly described herein, providing conditions of approval, providing an effective date for other purposes.
Evening, Mayor Reed, Council. My name is Sam Polachek, here with Cole Plunkett at Kotler and Hearing. Here to request approval of a miscellaneous application on behalf of Excel, downtown Palm Beach Gardens. I'm sure many of you have noticed the vast changes that have been made to downtown Palm Beach Gardens in the past couple years and how much has improved. We believe this request accommodates this trend by allowing a mural to be applied on the western facade of the development. The mural, created by a talented local artist, will utilize a black color palette and will be applied to the Me Time Salon tenant, which has a number of locations in the area. We believe this mural will complement the existing floral artwork in the development currently. I know this is pretty brief, but that's it. If you have any questions, let me know.
Oh, wait,
Are you sure you work for Don Herring?
Can't let you get off that easy. There's got to be more to talk about.
Can you say that backwards?
Yeah.
Have May you questions? Free?
No, that didn't work.
No?
No. All right, let's vote on it.
Well, hang on. Do we have anything from staff tonight? Okay, great. So obviously no comment cards. Could I get a motion and a second to please approve Resolution 8, 2025?
Madam Mayor, I'd like to make a motion to approve the fastest hearing we've ever heard, Resolution 8, 2025.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion passes unanimously. Thank you.
I
That
was going to say, let's all vote no on it, just for the fun of it.
We thought about that.
Nah.
Yeah.
Nah, it's ugly.
At this city not doing art, I don't know.
I know.
I
Next
don't
thing you know.
We really like our
Sam's
art.
getting out of here quickly. He's like, you're done.
Bye, guys. Thank
Goodbye.
you. We do love our art.
Get it done.
Do we have any items for council discussion or action tonight?
I do.
Thank you, Bert.
I'm sorry, I have one, Ron. I know this is going to be bad, but I got to say it. I had a couple people watching the video, believe it or not, of the last council meeting, and they want us to get stands for the flags so they stand out instead of limping like that. So I'm just putting a request in for a couple pole stands to get the flags beautifully traced out like you see on TV and everywhere else. That's all I'm asking. Okay, thank you. What, you haven't seen? It's for us to discuss because it's so, because look at the flags now. I'm just trying to think, they look so pretty, spread out on camera. So
I know what you're talking about,
You know,
those little
stand things.
that go across the flag.
I'll
I've seen them
make a
before.
donation. I mean,
Yeah, they're just literally like a little
Yeah.
metal thing that
yeah,
goes behind.
and the flags go so pretty and they lay nice and they look great for the camera that just looks straight ahead the whole night anyway. Instead of looking at us, they can look at the stands.
I think our
Uh-huh.
city budget can afford the $6
Yeah, all
that they
right.
cost, I'm sure.
That's all I got. That's all I got tonight.
Anyone else? Okay. Do we have a city
Are
attorney?
you serious? Look what you wore tonight. That's the dumbest thing. Don't be picking on my stands.
Guys,
I think our American flags are
okie
worth
dokie.
it.
Do we have any other comments from
We're
the
done.
peanut gallery? Okay. Does the city attorney have a report tonight, sir?
No, ma'am.
All right. With that, this meeting is adjourned.